searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up. I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. It's glorious. And I run.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your T-shirt historian, and welcome to Tuesday with Geeks. And I have my special friend, Coffee. The only way I can get through this show, because I'm exhausted, because it's been a long-ass day.
Coffee, don't leave home without it.
Tim Hayes, yes, I guess I kind of do look like Keanu Reeves. I mean, I have brown hair and dark eyes, and we have a similar hairstyle and facial hair. So yeah, kind of. I mean, you know, not as old as Keanu, but he's in a hell of a lot better shape than I am.
Not the years, it's the mileage.
There you go. There you go. Oh, man. And speaking of years and mileage, Jesus. This, it's kind of crazy. On X today, we had BBC news person, presenter, host, you know, whatever you want to call it, you know, person with clout who has declared that they are non-binary, Julia Hardy, who made a wonderful post on Twitter that says, can we agree, I'm quoting verbatim here, that for round 2 of quote-unquote this, it can be the final purge of these kinds of gamers. She doesn't specify what kind of gamers, but it's 2024. I've been arguing about this for decades. She's 32. Just want you to let that sink in. She's been arguing about it for decades. She's 32. So either she started when she was 2 years old and has about 3 decades of arguing, or she started when she was 12 and has 2 decades of arguing, or more than likely she's been arguing about it since, for about a decade at most.
Or perhaps there's the other option of we're talking internet years.
I guess. Well, and if it's internet years, then I'm ancient. But but to continue on, I've been arguing about this for decades. Can we have a last full detox of these dude so we can get back to the positive gaming community we have been creating? And there's no punctuation.
Okay.
This was in response to a post from Black Girl Gamers who said, "We really got you pressed by just existing, lol. We've never worked with Sweet Baby Inc. You all saw black in consulting and decided that we all work together. Sounds like racism." I don't really have a response to Black Girl Gamers because I'm just like, I whatever. They're another consulting firm. If they're all black or something, then that's kind of racist. I'm sorry, but racism works both ways.
And if you're being paid to find racism, you'll find racism.
Yeah. But this tweet in particular I find is kind of funny, and actually the internet's really having a fun time with it because she's talking about a purge of these kinds of gamers. And I'm guessing she's talking about like racists or people who've decided to clap back at SBI for shitty games, which that's most of us pretty much.
How dare us criticize them? Like, don't you know we're better than you, and we have to point it all out.
I mean, something that bothers me about this is the same thing that is kind of going on with 5th edition, how people keep wanting to present us as a community, and we are not a community. I mean, I guess in the very, very loosest sense, I mean, are we a community by the fact that we all play role-playing games? Well, I mean, okay. I've never really
common interest.
Yeah, we share that common interest. Does that really make us a community? I don't know.
Well, I think part of this stems from sort of this forum mindset. I mean, look at Reddit, for example. How every little subreddit is almost its own little ingrained community. And I think there's sort of a danger there with that sort of mentality, because there's this idea that, well, the community has to police its own, therefore we have to keep people in line, and how dare you do things that are, go against what we have decided are the community standards.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad idea, except that shouldn't the majority of people be the ones who set the community standards?
Oh, heavens, no. See, we have to seize the power, and we have to set those standards.
Oh. Okay, so in other words, like every other hobby, they moved in to a pre-existing hobby and have tried to co-opt it.
Well, that's the part that gets me. It talks about this positive community they're trying to create, but all they do is go around causing problems, finding problems that don't exist. That's not positive.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. I mean, it's like, okay, I've been in plenty of PvP and cooperative server type stuff, even going all the way back to World of Warcraft and everything else. And I've met my share of toxic gamers in just about everything. I mean, I played Left 4 Dead 2 pretty extensively, and there's quite a salty bunch there, and various other online games. Call of Duty, of course, being the biggest offender, right? Because
I've been in my share of the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies in my day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those places are like cesspools, but that's what gamers do. I mean,
And if you do purge the gaming industry of your main audience, then I think you deserve what comes to you. Really, it's 75% male, the PC and console audience. I think.
Well,
I mean, okay.
The thing though with what they classify as gamers is basically you have this attempt to try to redefine language. So you'll see people trying to push the idea that, do you play Bejeweled on your phone? Do you play Candy Crush? Well, that makes you a gamer.
Yeah, I know. That's their definition of gamers. Like, oh, I play solitaire at home on the free one that comes with Microsoft Windows. By that definition, then I guess my mom is a gamer. But I mean,
my grandfather doing little puzzles on a tablet doesn't make him a gamer, and I mean little like putting the actual like picture together puzzles.
Yeah, I mean, these people aren't gamers. They're tourists. Like we've said about the hobbies before. You have your hardcore, old school people who've been in it for a long time and have they have a genuine love for gaming and know where all the good stuff is and know how to find the good stuff, and they are if you look past the salty nastiness of a Modern Warfare lobby, there's actually people out there who are nice enough to show you the ropes, kind of teach you how to get better at it. A large part of it is actually the YouTube community, because I mean, how many how-to videos are there for getting good at stuff? I mean, I myself cruised no less than at least 8 or 9 different YouTubers that I've never seen before for Elden Ring over the last couple of weeks, because I decided to get back into playing it, kind of to get my reflexes back into shape for June, even though Shadow of the Erd Tree is still quite a ways off. I had to see if I still had what it takes to be able to play Elden Ring. And, yeah, I'm rusty, but I'm kind of getting better at it again. I'm starting to get the old reflexes back, but, there's been a lot of changes to the game since I played it. For one thing, Radon seems a hell of a lot easier.
Well, there's a couple of things in play with this ultimately. Mm-hmm. One, gaming is a very single player ancillary sort of hobby. Is that the fact that you can go play this by yourself and interact with no one at all?
Yeah.
And then you also have the fact of this was a multi-decades long hobby that's been around so long that it's managed to now usurp Hollywood. That gaming has always been kind of looked down on, poo-pooed. I mean, the tabletop game is as well. It was always kind of made fun of until then people like Critical Role started making money. Then people started taking it more serious. You now have
everything that we like was poo-pooed at one time. We were the comic book nerds who got shit on over at during lunch, or the D&D nerds, or the Magic the Gathering nerds, or whatever kind of nerd you want to be or were. Okay, well, I mean,
to put it into context, Hollywood last year made about what, $50 billion. Video games made 183.
Yeah. I looked up Gabe Newell's net worth right now. It's 5.1 billion. I mean, Jesus.
And unfortunately, it's been poo-pooed so long that you now have these people trying to these. I don't want to use all the same old insult stuff. You have a lot of these. You have a lot of people seeing this as a chance to try to grab power, that are trying to step in and try to kind of take over. Oh, well, this is all pretty problematic. We should let us come in and help fix this for you so you can sell to a bigger audience. When again, they're already selling to a bigger audience. They're
Mhm.
selling to a bigger audience than Hollywood.
Yeah. And if anything, little games like Pal World, amongst others, have proven that the AAA studios have lost their way and that the smaller studios can succeed. I mean, okay, let's say that SBI takes over, or not just SBI, but all of the consultants take over all of the AAA gaming industry. Well, I don't need to pay $60 for... Actually, I don't need to pay $80 for Starfield to find out that it's a boring piece of shit. If I know that, the consultants have gotten a hold of it and turned it into something disgusting, or at least something that I don't want to enjoy and have stuck in my face. That isn't the case with Starfield. I have actually played it a little bit, and honestly, I really find it very boring and very hard to hold my attention for any length of time, sadly. It's just not interesting. But that's just one example. There's lots of other AAA games out there that they've gotten their fingers into, and how I've found that the experience was maybe not as enjoyable as it should have been, especially for the price point. And I don't blame all that on SBI. There's lots of other factors that go into it. Sometimes it's just a shit game. Ubisoft is probably the worst about cranking out same every day. But, if this shit gets widespread and it hits all the AAA companies, which apparently it has been, you're going to see, you have seen it. You have seen, the hot sauce getting weakened down to where everybody else can tolerate it. And unfortunately, it's kind of like, I'm sorry, man, I don't buy hot sauce to have, a mild flavor bud explosion. I want my face to be on fire. I want the stuff that, leaves me sitting on the toilet at 3 a.m. with tears in my eyes while I'm blowing my asshole out with, red hot flaming diarrhea going, God, why did I do this to myself?
I'll do this again tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. Those hot wings sure were fucking good though, weren't they? I'm sorry, but that's the experience I want, and I should be able to get that. It reminds me of Demolition Man. That whole thing where Sandra Bullock is telling him, spicy foods were deemed bad for you. This was deemed bad for you. These other things were bad for you. So we eliminated all these things in our new Cocteau Plan society. And I'm just kind of like, I don't want the Cocteau Plan, okay? If I have to live underground in the sewers and eat the rat burgers to have my freedoms, then I guess that's what I'm going to do. Because
there's a rat.
Yeah. It's good. And that's the thing. It's like, apparently they're not aware of the fact that Steam has a ton of developers. Not just like, it's not all AAA. There's a lot of little bitty guys, and those little bitty guys get my money too. Especially if it's something I find is really interesting and edgy, and, it may actually contain some things in it that they don't approve of, such as nudity. I'm sorry. If that's who's going to get my money from now on to keep my entertainment value, then that's who's going to get it. Those guys will profit by it. The big companies will keep losing money until they wake up and smell the coffee and realize, hey, you know what? We fucked ourselves with this business.
I'm at a point now where I've started to impose a rule on games. Are there big anime tits? I'll pick it up. And from the sounds of things, Microsoft doesn't want to be selling me anything anytime soon.
No, they've got that new mandate out that absolutely pisses me off about them not wanting to have women of certain sizes. They urge developers not to create female characters with exaggerated body proportions. And I'm just kind of like, when you say exaggerated body proportions, do you mean women who look healthy, of healthy size, or are you talking about these fable things?
I I heard someone describe them as B cup feminist, and I can't get that thought out of my head now. There's a bunch of B cup feminists arguing about what we can make for characters.
And speaking of beautiful women, we have Harmony. Hey, how you
Hi.
feel?
It's all right. I thought I'd pop on for just a little bit.
I'm
I
glad.
had to get misogynistic here to summon you. Apparently,
Yeah. I totally wasn't just waiting backstage while you were doing that. I mean, it's been great, guys. I will see you next week, maybe.
I almost feel. Well, I almost feel kind of cringy because it's like you were talking about the B Cup squad, and then I bring Harmony on. And I'm just going,
Oof.
yeah.
No, it's good. It's good.
But okay. But I'm serious. It's like, okay, Harmony. Okay, you're a girl gamer, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you like to see when you play?
I'm not too bothered by much. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the trend of uglification of women doesn't particularly bother me so much. But I mean, at the same time, yeah, I think I want to be pretty when I play. It's not something I have an incredibly strong opinion on, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah.
the reality is when I do play games, I do tend to play female characters. I want to play beautiful female characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because cosplay is kind of part of it, especially something like Elden Ring, where you have like tons and tons of different outfits you can put together, which have different stats.
And also, a lot of times, like the female characters have the better looking outfits.
Yeah,
True.
and if your camera's behind them, you want the view. But no, you're good.
Yeah, there's that too. But
Well, okay,
God, I
look.
wish I was more opinionated on this, but I'm really not. I don't
Well-
particularly care that much. Like, but it's because as a lot of games don't have character selection, or at least they used to not, and so it's like, well, you just got used to playing, dude characters, which is fine, whatever. I mean, if it's first person, like you don't even see your character, it doesn't really bother me.
And they have-
that still doesn't stop me from spending an hour in character creation to get the character
Sure.
just right that I'm never going to see.
Right?
I
mean-
generally play default character. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Grim.
Okay. As I say, I remember back during the height of the original Gamergate, several studies came out suggesting that people really don't care that much about the character that they're playing, for the most part. It doesn't make any difference. They don't identify with it any more than you would identify with a pawn while you're playing chess or something. For most people, the people who really think this matters seem to be a tiny minority who have uncommon amount of sway. So it's just, I mean, the good news is it doesn't really matter. The bad news is, if you really think it matters, who is the majority audience? Who's spending the money on the games? So if you really believed that representation was important, what would characters look like?
I mean, the strongest thing you can still do is just vote with your wallet. I mean, if they want to purge us from the gaming industry, that's fine. Let them. All it will do is create a better market for the independents who will still cater to us, because they will. And the smaller studios will become the bigger studios eventually. They'll become the next generation of AAA studios within, 10 to 15 years. Yeah. Or, one or two really huge releases.
I think what these kids today with their Steam groups and things should do is just do that. Vote with their wallet. Ignore the media. They don't matter anymore. It's meaningless. All this fuss and thunder on Twitter is just don't give them your money. That'll change things.
Yeah. I mean, hit them in the pocketbook. That's the strongest vote you can make. And the funny thing is, it's like I meticulously craft my V every time I play Cyberpunk 2077, whether it's male or female. But you don't really see that character at all during the game. So it's just a personal aesthetic thing. I mean, Dark Souls or Elden Ring or something like that, you're staring at your character's back, but like if you have a female character and you want any kind of decent armor, it's gonna look kind of masculine because that's what armor does.
Yeah.
It protects your body, but it's rigid. It doesn't necessarily conform to curves and stuff. So if my character in Elden Ring or Dark Souls or something looks good, it only looks good to the PvPers or my friends in PvE. So that's just
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never been too much bothered what my character looks like, especially in a first person game. Like when I get out of the character creator, I don't even think about it again. So I don't know. I mean, it gets weird when there are like NPCs in games. Like I think the one that's brought up a lot is Fable. I think had the yeah, I think we've all seen the image from Fable. I mean, honestly, this is probably an unpopular opinion with this crowd. I don't know. But it doesn't bother me unless it's like everywhere. I mean, it like, I think it's fine to have less than beautiful women in games because there are less than beautiful women in real life. That's fine. It just becomes a problem when it's like every woman and it's like, where are the beautiful women? Because they exist. People like looking at them. Like, I mean, they're going to sell your game. That's why people did it for a long time. But like the one-off example doesn't particularly bother me as long as it's not like a huge thing everywhere.
But that's sort of the thing, though, is it starts off with just the one-off here or there, and then you start pick up little stories as you start getting a little snowball of more and more of this. There was a story that was kind of bubbling up this like today or so, of apparently and I got to look into this a little bit more, but from the sounds of it, the female character for Pokemon Go is being more androgenized.
Yeah, I saw that one. I don't know. That one was weird. I don't know. I saw the stuff about it. It was a little weird. I'll agree with you.
Yeah, like I said, I totally agree with you. Like it's fine to have a array of characters like this. The problem it kind of comes in and when it starts to become the rule and not the exception.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think there are a lot of like, and I could be wrong about this because this isn't something that I have studied in depth. Perhaps you have done a little bit more reading on this than me, but I see like a bunch of odd one-off examples, but at this point, I mean, there's still a lot of beautiful women in games, and I don't really see it as an industry-wide thing, but it could be just because I play a lot more indie games than I do AAA titles anymore, so I just may not be seeing it. But
well, I mean, I'm a big MMA Muay Thai fan, right? I watch Muay Thai and MMA every Friday morning and every Friday night. And the thing is, there are a lot of female fighters in these things. And I'm not saying that all of these women look, supermodel gorgeous. In fact, some of the most notable ones really look a little rough. But most of these women are shredded beyond belief or are fairly muscular. We're talking like Gina Carano level or bigger. And a lot of them look great. Like Shevchenko, that woman looks, oh my God, she's gorgeous. And she can fight. So it's like, I don't know where this thing comes from, where it's like only less than beautiful women can be capable athletes and fighters and everything else, because all these women look great, especially when they start, putting on makeup and everything outside the ring. It's like, wow, I would not have even recognized you outside the ring. But they get in the ring and it's like they're ripped, they're shredded, and they're just killing the other girl.
It's when they base characters on real people and somehow uglify them. That bothers me more. Like Anya Chalotra is the model for one of these games that's recently bubbled up as
Horizon.
Controversial. She looks terrible in that. No.
Yes.
No, you're right about that.
Yeah.
or
She
there was this,
played Jennifer.
oh no, that's right. That was the one I was trying to think of. Yeah.
You got to think that's got to affect the actress's bottom line too, because it's kind of like, oh yeah, I saw your character model in such, and golly, I had to dim my screen.
It's true. And what really gets me about this is that they have like real women that are modeling for this, and then they change their bodies so they'll look more like real women than the real women themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that ties into Stellar Blade, which the character model in the game looks like the actress they used to capture her. And you had people up in arms about it, saying this was an unrealistic body type when this is literally the woman's body.
Mm-hmm. She literally said, "Oh, kitty."
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't get it. It's like they just want to sell certain looks and stuff like that to people, and it's just kind of like I don't get it. And I mean that eventually bubbles over into the other part of it too, where you start seeing the people who are like really obviously not at a healthy body weight and stuff. I mean, and I'm not at a healthy body weight myself, so I understand. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to be represented, but I'm not gonna. Would I honestly play a fat character in a game? Not really. I mean, I played Bob in Tekken because, I mean, he's funny and he's pretty powerful for a fat character. Now, in reality, that guy probably couldn't do any of the moves and stuff that he does in the game. He's just too far overweight. And he'd get winded way too quick. He'd get gassed way too quick.
I mean, what it comes down to with most of these is most people want to play a heroic fantasy version of maybe themselves, maybe not.
Mhm.
But I mean, these are hero fantasies. You want your character to be beautiful or masculine and strong. You want your character to be like you're just who you want to be, not who you are.
Yeah. I mean, you are kind of playing a character.
Yeah.
Even in the video games, you're not playing yourself. And, it's the same thing with the role-playing game stuff, too. It's like, if you're disabled in real life, that doesn't mean your character's disabled in the game.
Like, I run way too much D&D, but do you know how many overweight or obese characters I have had players play?
I'm kind of getting
none.
0. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody play an obese character in D&D, ever.
Mm-mm.
Not even as a joke?
No.
Nope. I wouldn't play one as a joke.
No.
I mean,
I did play a pirate called Fatbeard once.
was it a one-shot?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, a one-shot, you could do stuff like that because it's like, I'm not really taking this character seriously anyway. So, just for one day, I can really jump outside of myself and play something that I will never play again. Unless, of course, for some reason, that character gets super popular. And that happens. I've seen it. But yeah, it's like, it's like the disability thing. Nobody wants to drag that stuff into their game, or at least most people don't want to drag that stuff into their game. Most people want to be the heroic person. They identify with the good-looking people in the books. Well, that's the thing. If you read books, it describes these characters in the books, but you still end up having a mental headcanon of what a character looks like that may not necessarily conform to what the book says. You know what I mean?
Well, that does kind of bring up a thought for you guys, because kind of with the thought of D&D and playing these heroic characters, it brings to mind a lot of sort of the wish fulfillment that you see sort of a modern player might try to get this misconception of Dungeons and Dragons to be, to where I can't ever crit, I can't ever fail, and it should be about like me being the big hero to save the day.
Yeah, I mean, Grimm and Harmony both run games that are paid, but that being said, neither one of them should be viewed as a wish fulfillment vending machine by the players, because that's not what they're there to do. They're there to run a game and have a good, hopefully everybody has a good time. But
yeah,
I
But
make sure to know that from the beginning.
Sorry,
Go
Ronnie.
ahead. Oh no, you
No, go-
first. Okay,
Um,
we're having a polite off. Go on.
okay. I've forgotten the point I was making. So
No,
go.
me too.
Damn it.
Vending machine
Oh,
GMs, wish fulfillment.
Yeah, you have to earn those moments of wish fulfillment and so on,
Yeah.
and that makes them all sweeter. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
There. Your turn to remember now.
Yeah, I mean, I tell my players the second they come into my game that yeah, it's a paid game, but I will enforce the rules of the world. You can die, you might not get what you want, and it's an open world, and it is what it is. We go by what the dice say, and if that's not okay, then you're probably not in the right game. So
Yeah.
sorry, that wasn't even like related to the point. Go on.
No, it was kind of related to the point. And the cool thing too is that you're experimenting with a lot of different new styles and things like that too.
Yeah.
Like you're doing 1-to-1 time and all these other things, and
Yep.
so you're branching out.
Yeah,
You're
I
getting-
try new things and different things
Yeah.
with most of my games and just kind of keep what works and throw away what doesn't.
Yeah, I love that.
The 1-to-1 is interesting though.
How's that working out?
Man, short answer. Not I could derail the rest of the whole
I had a feeling.
conversation on it. So short answer, pretty well. It's a unique experience for most players. None of my players nor I have tried it before. We're all kind of still feeling it out, learning the ins and outs of it, like adjusting play styles a little bit to compensate. However, the big thing is it is giving players more control, and they aren't like plotting in between games. Is
Sava, we don't have that long.
Yeah, we don't have that long. There's no way. Can I promote somebody else on this channel? Is that okay? Somebody
Sure.
else's channel. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude. If you want the long answer, I will be speaking to Dunder Moose on his channel on I believe
Oh, cool.
on I believe April 14th in the evening, like 8 p.m. on Dunder Moose's channel. We'll talk through the long answer there. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
No, I love it. I know we kind of branched a little bit off topic, but I think it all kind of relates because it all seems to stem from the same core deal where it's just like, we all had hobbies that we liked. We were very comfortable with them the way that they were. And, we were happy to bring new people in to enjoy them with us, but we weren't expecting them to co-opt them and then try to kick us out of them, which is what's happened.
And that's been the challenge, especially as of late. And I think, and I wonder if this isn't in part because of the modern social media, because there's these online communities where you see people. It's not so much people within a little small town or within like this one little game shop. It's sort of seen like these little communities where thousands of people can kind of flock to, and with that you have personalities and individuals who sort of step up and kind of become these social lightning rods that will try to then sort of set the pace for how things ought to be.
Well, I mean, we've seen it happen. I mean, Harmony had somebody already tell her that they didn't want to play D&D because they weren't very good actors.
Oh yeah. I was wondering where that one was going. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
friend of mine.
the Mercer effect brought a lot of people in, brought a lot of eyeballs on D&D, sure. And there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. It's just when people expected that's how every game was supposed to be. And then on top of that, we're also bringing in all their own personal baggage to the point where it was just kind of like, we're not content with how things are. We want to change them.
Well, it's really another kind of gatekeeping.
Yeah.
because you see the actors and stuff on Critical Role, and then your friends try to play and they're all trying to improv act. And if that's not you and that's like the exposure you have to the game, it's all right, this game is for actors and theater kids. RPGs aren't my thing because I can't role play because I can't act. And that's like not what they've been for most of their existence, and at I think most tables.
Well,
Yeah.
then you also have at the same time the sort of flip side of that, where you have the people who do think it is the theater kid idea, who might go to the more kind of bog standard grognard table, only to discover like, wait, you guys aren't playing this right.
Mm-mm.
What do you mean you guys have been around? There's a challenge of ideas.
Yeah, I had my first early exposure to that playing Pathfinder First Edition because it was at a friendly local game store. Actually, I was running a Pathfinder game. Had a guy I knew who was pretty friendly, nice dude, wanted to play with me and my friends, and he did. And then as the game evolved, he started to get more and more annoyed with me because I wasn't running it the way the book said, whether it be rules or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, well, yeah, but I mean, this is just kind of my table. This is the way I'm doing it because this makes it enjoyable for me, and for the other characters seem to be enjoying it just fine too. You're the only one complaining about it. Eventually he got to the point where he quit because, I wasn't running his ideal experience, or, wasn't doing it right.
I mean, I think that's definitely something good for a conversation when you sit down for a game. But I don't know if this was like a one-shot or a long-term campaign or something.
It was a long-term campaign.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I try to do at the beginning. So I try to like go through all the house rules because I do use a good amount of house rules with players. But I don't know. Sorry, I don't want to criticize the way you run because I don't know. You probably did that.
Well, I mean, it wasn't so much that I was using a lot of house rules, but it's just, I didn't always necessarily do things the way that the book said, or sometimes I would, quickly come up with a rule on the fly or something that he didn't agree with, or, just things to make my life a little bit easier. And apparently that was not the experience. I mean, I'll put it kind of more bluntly. He wasn't expecting a whole lot of role playing. He was expecting a lot of dungeon crawling and a lot of, skill throws and all this kind of stuff. He was expecting a very tactical, miniatures on the map, board game, Pathfinder experience, like from 3.0, 3.5. And I'm like, that's not what I do. I run a role playing game. You actually have to kind of be present in character and have some idea what you want to do and have goals and things. It's a living world. I sandbox. I'm not going to send you on a quest every, there's not like dudes standing there with a big, question mark above their head or whatever, waiting to give you a quest.
Yeah, it's up to the players and what they want to do. If they want to do combat, they go out looking for combat or accept some sort of mission that will take them there. Like, if players are goofing around the tavern for 3 hours, I'm not gonna be like, all right, guys, go fight something. That's on them.
I've seen weird stuff like that happen. Weirdest experience I ever had was I was running a game, and the characters just kind of by virtue of the way their dice rolls were working out and the experiences they were having in the tavern ended up becoming a rock band, as it were, in Pathfinder. So yeah, they were literally like touring all the different taverns and stuff and playing music on stages for money, and eventually ended up playing in front of the Emperor. So, but it was kind of funny how it worked out.
And then they assassinated him.
No.
At a certain point, you just attack the tavern.
Well, see, I didn't have to. I mean, because they were having fun. It was so different. I was enjoying it. And I could still throw little plots at them and wrinkles and complications and just keep it interesting. It's actually the players that end up killing that game, because at one point they were granted a boon, and one of the players decided, well, why don't we get this, cart that has a Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion and a stage and all this other stuff on it. And so after they got that whole thing built, I'm kind of like, well, okay, there goes all the road encounters because literally I can't attack you while you're in your fortress of fuck off. Unless I seriously want to just, damage the credulity of the spell integrities of everything. Oh, look, everybody with anti-magic starts showing up to attack your fortress.
Yeah, or you could just make something interesting outside that they have to like poke their head out and see what it is, and then you grab them and destroy their fortress. Then, like,
Small tunnel.
But it's just like the sad thing is everybody at the table kept telling that guy, "Do not ask for that. Do not," because they all knew how it would affect everything, and now he persisted, and sure enough, it killed the game. But que sera. Anyway, what's 7:50? Oh my gosh, I almost don't have any time for show and tell, but I want to have some show and tell tonight, just so we have some positive stuff going on.
Amazing. I'm gonna dip before this, guys. I just wanted to poke in.
Oh, I'm glad.
All right, I'll see
Thanks.
you.
Thanks for stop by.
See ya.
I scared her off.
No, I think the topic kind of piqued her interest, and so that's cool though. But yeah, today apparently was Anime Day because this showed up.
Weeb.
Yes, this is the complete 1997 TV series on 2 Blu-rays. So
I should have watched that at some point, or I should read that. I haven't decided which one yet.
You should read it first.
Can I just watch like an abridged version instead?
No. Because these are the abridged versions. Everybody should read the manga. This also showed up. This is the last of the OVAs. This is Legend of the True Savior, Legend of Kenshiro. This is effectively episode 0 for Fist of the North Star. So this is what happened to Ken between the time that he was incapacitated by Shin and met his first crossman, or met his first,
Does this mean you now have the complete series?
More or less. I mean, as far as animated series go, yeah, I've got everything Fist of the North Star that's animated. Although, there is still new Fist of the North Star. I don't have that in Blu-ray because it's not out yet. And there is, of course, the rumor that there is going to be a brand new animated Fist of the North Star coming out. I don't know when. I haven't heard, but it's supposed to be in recognition of the 40th anniversary. So I'm excited about that. And to kind of go along with it, this showed up as well. Volume 12, featuring the cover with Falco, who is the stylist of the Gento Koken. And No. And this is one of his subordinates, Solia of the Purple Light, who is obviously more modeled on Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Falco himself is kind of modeled on Dolph Lundgren. But this is kind of when they were doing a lot more tribute style art. But these are amazing volumes. I'm glad they got this far. I've never seen them get this far before. So I'm very excited to continue the series. Just can't say enough good things about it. I mean, I already got the next 2 books pre-ordered. So it's got at least 2 more books to go.
Did you capture a leprechaun or something?
What do you mean?
You got money.
I had a credit card and a pre-order.
Tisk.
Future you is going to hate this.
Future me is probably going to hate it, but I mean, I would have bought it anyway. All I'm doing is ensuring that I'm going to get it. This is something I would have set aside for anyway. And they're months and months out. 13 is not going to be dropping until like June. And then 13 is not going to be dropping until December. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd have, $30 or $40 collected by then. Well, actually, it's 25.
Okay, you just kind of answered my question. I was going to ask who was the publisher.
Viz.
Yep, I saw that in the back cover.
Yeah, good stuff. Viz has always done the Fist of the North Star stuff. And I did see that they were releasing some lists of G.I. Joe classified computer names. So we don't know what's coming, but we have ideas.
Well, there was another G.I. Joe thing I showed you.
Well, where is it?
Well, all right, hang on. I actually got to pull this up. All right, hang on.
You're not talking about the Steam game, are you?
I was.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a Steam game. I can't afford it right now, Ironcaster. Please, let me get a chance to play it before you go and talk about it. But I thought you were going to talk about your 2 new action figures.
Oh, no, I didn't think that was special enough to bring up. I was like, yeah, I bought a couple G.I. Joes.
Oh, okay. I did go to Ollie's.
Really?
Yeah, I went by Ollie's the other day. Nothing new since Christmas. It's literally the same crap on the shelves, and it's mostly old Phase 4 Marvel junk sitting on the shelves, as well as they literally, all they had for G.I. Joe classified was stuff from the Snake Eyes movie that has been there forever, and one Lady J, and that was it.
So this was a little game I kind of came across my radar. I thought I showed T-shirt, and this is slated to be out later this year.
Mm-hmm.
Called, I think, The Wrath of Cobra.
Oh, a bit of a delay there. That makes it look janky. It's a G.I. Joe beat 'em up.
Yep.
Everybody's going to want to play Snake Eyes, right?
Oh, yeah. Look, if I could play Shipwreck, I'll be happy.
I don't think you can. I don't know. Unless they add him as a paid DLC for later. So yeah, that's out, huh?
Yep. I'd say Hasbro should probably look into doing a little bit more like this, because I tell you what, I want to play this. I was enjoying the Turtles game earlier this year. That new Turtles beat 'em up from last year. If we can just kind of go back to basics with some of these, I think they'd be in some bit of a good run.
Well, I had this little clip I found. Well, actually, this is a whole video by another YouTuber about Dragon's Dogma 2. And as good as that game looks, there are some things in it that bother me,
any direction without getting absolutely ambushed by everybody and their mother. I've developed a sort of motto while playing this game, actually, and it is thus: if it breathes, it hates me. So then why...
Look at this guy.
Why do I love it so much?
He's literally getting eaten by 3 wolves while his pawn sits there and heals him. So literally he is eternal dog food. I mean, that's not the experience I want to have when I play Dragon's Dogma 2. It's either get me killed or save me. You need to prioritize your AI a little bit there.
So Dragon's Dogma 2 was a game I had no idea even existed up till about maybe 5 months ago.
Oh, wow. I've had the Dark Arisen for a long time, but I just, every time I get back to trying to play it, I'm just kind of it's good, but it's very repetitive, and I just feel like there's been better games that have been released since then. So,
I mean, I need to get in the habit more of sort of, before I go to click purchase, stop and look at my existing catalog.
Uh-huh.
I just restarted Final Fantasy VII, and at some point I plan to eventually get past disc 1.
I'm just curious what's in my list right now. Apparently, I have 221 favorites.
Meanwhile, Grimm's over there. Amateurs.
And then, what do I have that's not favorites? I have a whole bunch of soundtracks, too. Oh, 491 uncategorized. So, yeah, I've got well over 700 games. Yeah, I probably should, play some of those. They're not all great, but I mean, they're not all bad either. Some of them are just kind of like, this was kind of okay at the start, but then after a couple of hours, it started to suck, and then it's too late to refund it. So now I'm just stuck. And then, of course, there's the infamous Bloodlines 2, which I pre-ordered. Still haven't got it. Can't return it. But, oh well. There is some good stuff coming out, though. I do have V Rising, and this dropped today.
I picked this up for a minute. I think I refunded it, but maybe I'll get back again.
I refunded it initially, too, but then I bought it back again because I wanted to play it after it had a little bit of time to gestate and get better.
So for those out there who don't know what V Rising is, would you give like a 10-cent summary?
It's a survival crafting vampire game where, yes, you have to collect wood, stone, mine, and all this other stuff in order to build up your lair. All the while competing with other players who also want terrain and resources and dealing with monsters and environmental problems. And depending on what you have built up, your character gets more powerful, and you could build better weapons and armor and gear for yourself. And I haven't progressed in it super far because I keep getting sidetracked with other games, but it is fun.
There's a review. The top review on the game right now says, "The sun hurts my skin, just like real life."
Condor, yeah, you got V Rising and you think it's good. It's great to play with friends. You skip most new games. You stick to Rust and DayZ mainly due to lack of time. Yeah, I can understand that. You need friends for V Rising? Yeah, I'm starting to think that's the case. I don't have any of those. It's like every time, I want to play something with Grim, it's like, oh, I've got it on PlayStation 4. I'm like, well, fuck, Grim, don't you have a PC? Why don't you use it?
Because it's a work PC and it's not optimized for games.
He bought the PC for legit work stuff, and he didn't make the excuses to himself just to justify something to play video games on.
It's probably an 8-year-old HP or something.
No,
with an onboard video card.
No, we build our PCs in this house.
Oh, good man. Do also have another quick thing here. This might get us clipped. I don't know. It probably will. But for those of you like me who are still hanging on to Dead by Daylight, the Slipknot collection came out today.
That'll do it.
Yep. It looks pretty cool, though. They announced this a month or two ago. I don't know. Might be kind of cool. I did buy at least one of the Iron Maiden skins, but they're limited time offerings, so they won't be there forever. They're hoping for FOMO, and that pisses everybody off. But hey, my Eddie looks pretty cool as the Dredge.
That's how it goes, though.
It does. Speaking of which, what I heard Magic the Gathering has another set coming out. Was it like the Thunder Rising, Thunderdome crap, whatever?
Oh, the Fallout?
Yeah, basically. It's Fallout from what I understand. Speaking of Fallout, because of anticipation for the show, the number of players for Fallout 4 has gone up. There are more people playing Fallout 4 right now because they want to enjoy it again in preparation for the show, the Amazon show. And I hate to say it, but I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I mean, it's Jonathan Nolan. He did a good first season of Westworld. Maybe he'll do a good, first season of Fallout, maybe?
Sure, but is he going to stick around for a second season?
That's the problem, because, from second season on, Westworld started tanking. But I want to believe that one of the things that was affecting Westworld was the same thing that was affecting everything in Hollywood at the time, and that was, the strong whammon narrative that became super duper popular at that point, which is why Westworld took such a narrative shift. Maybe we're far enough past that where he's kind of, we'll get to second season and he'll be like, we can't shift the narrative that way anymore. We need to kind of keep this one selling, making money. Because, I'm sure Amazon would like to have at least one series that makes good money. Maybe two.
Well, yes, but with a lot of the DEI regulation that have gone in place around awards, there's some concerns there to be had for sure.
The strongest way that all these studios and stuff could speak out against all that stuff is just don't give a shit about the awards. Just do your thing. Do your projects. Just like, go back to cocaine-fueled Hollywood. We don't care. Did it make some money? Yeah, it made money. Was it a piece of shit? Sure, it was a piece of shit, but people enjoyed it. They watched it. They paid money. Which brings me to Roadhouse, Amazon. Oh, I watched it.
And?
Well, it kind of goes without saying the original is still superior in every way. This was kind of disjointedly funny. The movie really seems to kind of be self-aware of how stupid it is, and it kind of leans into it by continually doing stuff that, it looks good on, like, in every action movie, but it, obviously in real life it would be like too ridiculous. A lot of the performances seem kind of phoned in. Except for Conor McGregor, who is like so roided out in the show that I'm just kind of like, damn, you didn't look like this even when you were in UFC. How the hell did your cheeks get muscles? Because his face has literally gotten bigger. So it's all that, human growth hormone and steroids and whatever else he's fucking taking.
It's potato every morning, like a good Irish lad.
It's a potato that's been injected with about, 400 different types of chemicals to make you look bigger and more shredded.
It's full of preservatives.
And sadly, there was at least one scene in there where you get to see his bare ass and he bends over, and I'm just kind of like, God, no, why? But if you just happen to be a female fan or a male fan out there who wanted to see Conor McGregor nude, you get your shot. You don't get a frontal, but thankfully they spared us from that. But he looks like he's having a great time just hamming it up in the show. He literally, the way he walks throughout the show is, he looks like he's been sitting on a horse for a really long time, and he can't, he has to swagger everywhere because he's got his chest all puffed out and stuff, and he can't act, but he can act like an asshole, so good on him. Jake Gyllenhaal is like super duper ripped beyond belief in this show, to the point where I'm kind of like, damn, I don't think you necessarily had a roid routine, but you definitely were hitting the gym for, many, many hours at a time. But yeah, there's a lot of forgettable performances. There's a lot of forgettable actors. There's a lot of forgettable acting and action. But some of it's kind of fun. I mean, if you're bored and you got nothing better to do and, you don't mind, wasting like an hour and a half, or you just need some background noise that you can occasionally check out for when something exciting happens. Yeah, put Roadhouse on Amazon on. It's not going to win any awards for anything, but...
Well, yeah, but we could also get the same... I'm guessing we're going to get the same result with, like, a monkey and a lizard fighting this weekend.
A what?
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh, is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'd say if you're going to pick one movie this week to watch, you probably want to go watch Godzilla and King Kong team up to fight another monkey.
I can't get excited about any of those legendary Godzilla films. I just can't. I've been burned too many times. The first Godzilla sucked so bad. But then they were like, "Oh, King of the Monsters, we got more monsters in it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not very good, is it?" And then finally they went all out with King Kong versus Godzilla, and it was just kind of like, okay. Well, you gave us giant monkey and giant lizard. That was kind of entertaining. It's kind of stupid, but we'll take it. I mean, it was fun for a one watch. It's not something I want to own. I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing with this one. I think Godzilla -1, if it didn't embarrass Legendary Studios, it should. Because, the Japanese showed what heart and a lower budget and people who really, really love what they're doing can do with a Godzilla movie. And I'm so stoked. I think August is when we're going to get it over here on Blu-ray, and I honestly can't wait to get it. And there's the new Aliens movie coming up by Fede Alvarez. A lot of people think, oh, this is going to be good to watch, and I'm just kind of like, it's Fede Alvarez. Everything he's done has been shit, as far as I'm concerned.
What else has he done?
He did that Texas Chainsaw Massacre film for Netflix, which was shit. He did the Evil Dead remake, which was shit. He did the See No Evil films 1 and 2. That was kind of a good premise, but it wasn't something I would watch over and over and over. I can't think of anything else he's done, and everybody thinks, oh, he's going to do a great job on the Aliens movie. He's got Ridley Scott's approval and all this other stuff. And
yeah, Ridley Scott hasn't been on form for a while.
No. And the plot synopsis, I'm kind of going on what Stone Loki said earlier this week, but Stone Loki said the plot is it's Hadley's Hope. It's the story of Hadley's Hope before the Aliens film. So basically, it's like, huh?
Is it though?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to...
I don't think it is explicitly that. It's he mentioned something like that in the interview, saying he always wondered what that was like. But I don't think it's actually set on Hadley's Hope.
Is it not?
Don't think so.
I don't know. That's what I heard. But
while scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Scavenging a space station doesn't sound like Hadley's Hope. To be fair, there's not much out about it.
Just the trailer, which the trailer looks cool, but I mean, trailers are made to look cool.
Yeah.
They tend to be the best parts.
Sadly, they tend to be the best parts. I just don't know if I have really high hopes for it. I mean, it's kind of like basically it's a prequel, so you already know it's whatever happens at the end of it. Either nobody's going to survive, or there's going to be some sort of implausibility that explains why there was nobody knew about this, or why they covered it up or something. I don't know, but it's just anytime you're dealing with prequels, it's always like tricky territory. And again, it's Fede Alvarez who has disappointed me over and over and over and over. So I don't know. I'm sorry, but that Texas Chainsaw movie just really pissed me off. I am a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. Obviously, I live in Texas. I own all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. For better or for worse, even the bad ones. I mean, they all still had something I really enjoyed. This one, the one he did, just absolutely sucked in every possible way. I mean, you'd think I would enjoy a scene where Leatherface massacres an entire van full of, or an entire party bus full of, what do you call them? Influencers who are just sitting there on their phones, screaming at him about how they're going to put his face all over YouTube and all this shit. And somehow that ended up being stupid and boring because I'm just kind of like, these guys are just lining up to die. Nobody's even fighting back. What, And at one point, the woman who actually has the guns, the training, and the ability to put down Leatherface has him dead to rights. 100% knows how dangerous he is, has encountered him before, knows what he is capable of, and she has her gun pointed at him and does not pull the trigger. And I'm just like, nobody is this fucking stupid. Nobody is. It's like, if you have a wild animal and you have your gun drawn on it and you know what it's capable of and you know how badly it will kill you and how much glee it will enjoy in killing you, you don't sit there and stare at it and try to have a dialogue with it. You pull the trigger until the gun goes click. And, afterwards you go call the meat wagon to pick up the corpse. I'm just... Sorry, I went on a tangent there. I hated that movie. I hated that movie so much. I won't even own a copy of it. Huh?
Do you like it better than the second one?
Texas Chainsaw 2?
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw 2 is great, dude. Are you kidding me? With Dennis Hopper and all that crazy shit. It was wonderful. That was a great movie. Or are you talking about the remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning?
Oh, no, I think I was talking about number 2. With the Breakfast Club poster.
Yeah, that one was great. That was great. I have a really good copy of that here. Yeah. No, I love that one. I mean, it was stupid but funny. I liked it. So, yeah. I mean, you can't take the Texas Chainsaw movies too seriously anyway. I mean, the first one is the only one that's really horrible. As in horrifying, because nobody had ever seen anything like it before. But every one after that has just been, you know what you're getting into.
I'm just thinking about like, oh, you've got like all these great movies down in Texas. You're like, yeah, we've got like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you've got Dallas, and you've got
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
And I'm like, oh fuck, what have I got? RoboCop.
No, that was shot in Dallas.
No, it's supposed to be Texas. It's supposed to be Detroit, though. I'm talking about where they're supposed to be set.
Oh. Well, you also got The Crow.
Yeah. And Grimm's got like everything Victorian.
No, he's got like. Are you kidding now? He's got like one of
the Quatermass Experiment,
The Wicker Man,
Hammer.
Yeah, all the Hammer stuff.
28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Not the sequel though. The 28 Days after that sucked horribly. But the first one was great.
He's even got an American Werewolf.
Yep.
Yeah, technically. Yeah. Yeah, Surly. I think Near Dark was Texas. We also had Rotor. Have you seen that? Oh God, that was bad. That was terrible. It's bad, Ironcaster. It's just bad. It's supposed to be in Dallas.
87 sci-fi action film starring Richard Guestman.
It's
James
terrible.
Smith and Margaret Trigg.
Yeah. It's so bad.
I think I gotta go watch this. This sounds amazing.
Okay. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wait. Hang on. You mean to tell me this is a terrible movie? Come on, the poster sells it.
The poster is the best part of it. No, the movie is terrible, dude.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
I mean, I warned you, okay? It's awful.
The poster wouldn't lie.
Okay. It's like, you know, what if we shot Terminator and we only had like $15?
We'll make it work.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm serious. I think I've seen porno movies that had better budgets, so and could do more with them.
The actor who played Shoe Boogie, the jive-talking Native American janitor, is uncredited. To this day, his identity has not been verified. This sounds amazing. Just
yeah, maybe you and Nick Weiser need to watch that one.
I'm gonna make Pops watch it.
Make Pops watch it. He deserves it. He's probably already seen it.
What did he ever do to you?
Made him come on his show all the time.
I mean, look, Riff Tracks even picked it up.
Yes, they did. I think Jason Brandt took a look at it too on So Bad It's Good. It's honestly, it's one of the most boring, stupid pieces of film I've ever seen. But you know, hey, you're one of those people got to pee on the electric fence and find out for yourself, man. What? No, come on, Frankenhooker is great, Surly. I bought that movie like 3 times already. I love Frankenhooker. Yeah, Savo, you've never seen Frankenhooker? Yeah, you need to see Frankenhooker. It's great.
Want a date?
Want a date? Want some company? God.
Oh yeah, there was that story.
What?
Check the private messages.
Oh.
Or if you prefer me to bring it up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Gary Gygax Memorial Library Park in Lake Geneva. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, apparently, yeah, they're going to have a Gary Gygax Memorial in Lake Geneva. So they're going to have a big statue with a bench and everything dedicated to him where I guess people can sit down and play games. I think that's awesome as hell. I think that's... Let me see if I can put the picture up for everybody.
I've got it up.
That'd be nice.
If it actually happens, of course.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of those ambitious projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been here before. That's all.
I hope they do it. I hope they do it. And you know what gets me is all these other people, you know, just got back from Gary Con and talked about how wonderful it was. And, you know, they got this going on and
Yeah.
all these people doing so much in the name of Gary Gygax and, you know, Watsy.
Doing nothing.
Pretty much.
I could see people wanting to go and make pilgrimages to this to sit at the table with Gary.
I would if I had the money. Hell, I'd like to do it while Ernie's still alive too, just to be able to hang out with him.
Yeah.
I've heard he's a good guy.
There is a plaque to him, isn't there? Somewhere.
See, I think it might only be about a 10-hour drive for me, so I could probably do this over a weekend.
You totally should do it.
You Americans are crazy.
What? That's not that bad.
That's
I don't know.
all the way to Scotland and 2 hours back home.
And and most of that is me not even like out of my state.
I mean, yeah, I mean, come on now. 8 hours. I mean, I could go 10 hours and still be in Texas. So if I started at one end.
And that's why we don't do that's why we don't have trains.
Yeah, we can't. Well, we
need trains.
We do have trains. We just, you know, don't use them because we have highways. Trains are for carrying products, not people.
There's a difference these days?
I guess so. But all right, guys. If we've nothing else on the docket at the moment, shall we adjourn until Saturday?
Yarp.
All right. Well, I do have some good news coming up. He has not set a firm date with me yet, but Taylor Lane is wanting to come on the show, so I'm going to put him on a Saturday where we've got the gaming group together. And I believe the fella who made Dystopian Dawn is also looking for a spot at some point, so we may get them on a Saturday. So we got some folks coming on. I mean, yeah. We had Comics Division. He was great.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a really fun conversation, and hopefully we'll have some more.
Yeah, I think he wanted to stay longer, but yeah, he had an engagement to get to, and like I said, I didn't know he was a big old gaming nerd. Otherwise, I'd have had him on a long time ago.
I think he hops on with the Geeks and Gamers tabletop crew.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We never get invited to that. Oh well. Oh well.
Nobody texts us anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, let's reach out. Let's try to get a couple more people on, and we can try to build some bridges.
Definitely. I mean, I've streamed with Jeremy before, and he's a nice guy.
Maybe that's not the right phrase to use today.
What, bridges?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Francis Scott Key Bridge. It's pretty sad. Yeah, I don't want to get into speculation about what happened. I'll just wait and hear what the official report says. But wow.
Yeah, that was horrible to see.
It's really fortunate that only 6 people seem to have died.
Yeah. For as many as were on that bridge at the time, yeah.
So I think it was like, what, 1 a.m., 1:30 roughly?
1:30 a.m. and there were roadworks going on the bridge, and those are the guys that they think are dead, the guys who were working on it. So,
thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
But sorry to end us on a downer.
I know. I had everybody all pumped up for fun stuff, and then you had to end us on a downer. Thanks, Ironcaster.
I'll go away now.
Go away now. All right, guys. We'll see y'all on Saturday. Y'all have a good night.